What's wrong with Twitter Birdwatch? Nothing really, aside from the fact you might be a Twitter regular and be entirely unaware of its existence. But it was introduced back in 2021, January of 2021, so we're coming up on 2 years now, as a pilot program, and it's been in several iterations since then. Let's see how Twitter describes what Birdwatch is. Birdwatch is a pilot program that aims to create a better informed world. Here's a description of how it works. Contributors write and rate notes. Contributors are people on Twitter, just like you, who choose to enroll in the pilot to write and rate notes. The more people that participate, the better the program becomes. Only notes that people find helpful appear on Twitter. Birdwatch doesn't work by majority rules. To identify notes that are helpful to a wide range of people, Birdwatch ratings require agreement between contributors who have sometimes disagreed in their past ratings. This helps prevent one-sided ratings. Twitter doesn't rate, or moderate notes. We believe giving people a voice to make these choices together. All right, so that's the basic principle. Birdwatch is a community-based, crowdsourced, fact-checking organization. So here's what it looks like in the real world. Maybe you follow Billy Baldwin, you see this tweet of his, and now here is some type of note attached to it. And it says, readers added context. Okay, so that's the Birdwatch people. This is actually a really good note. This is what a note should look like. It's neutral, not biased language, stating merely facts, and very importantly, it has a reliable source attached to it. Ideally, this is what a Birdwatch note should look like. As it is, you might not see this. You could go to this tweet and not see the note. As far as I know, only 1% of engaged people will see a note. Because it's still in the rollout, only a small number of people will see it. But this is what the end product will end up looking like. Now, to go back to Twitter's original explanation of how Birdwatch works, this is the dynamic. There needs to be an agreement between people that are not like-minded, that have disagreed in the past, and they need to agree in the present on a particular note in order for it to become public. So, as I said, it's not majority rules. It's where there's collaboration, that rules. This is the challenge right now. What Birdwatch has at the moment is there's a divide, of course, and it's a political divide, of course. And for notes to become public, there's agreement is required at some point. This is the major stumbling block, that all things are seen through a political lens. So, and also, Birdwatch, Twitter itself doesn't know who's on what side of the divide. It just keeps track of where your scores keep landing. And if you keep voting continually in one way, the divide will become apparent. There's no name for that. There's no politics attached to that. But in reality, that divide is very clearly a left and right divide. So what's required is the agreement, and the stumbling block now is there are very few people on the right side that will agree to virtually any fact of importance. And on the left too, there's people that ideologically just won't take the effort to agree to something that might look bad for their ideology. By and large, it's always the people on the left that step across the divide to agree with. I mean, if there's facts available, we agree on what those facts are. The people on the right you will never see a note written on Marjorie Taylor Greene, Boebert, Matt Gaetz, Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson. You just name any talking head for the right, and there will never be a note for them, because everything they say is always true. Even when it's obviously not true, it still is true because they said it. So as it stands, the notes that become more apparent now would be a note fact-checking a meme or a copyright issue. Anything that's not really of great import, those are most likely, highly likely, to have a note become visible on them. It's the notes on important topics that rarely will a note become visible. There are few exceptions. Now, one time, Marjorie Taylor Greene did receive a note because she posted a meme. So the people on the right were willing to agree that yes, the meme is not true. This is not facts. There are some exceptions with COVID and vaccines. Occasionally, people from the right will agree to facts. That's about it, I think, for exceptions. Yeah. What you will see is the left totally willing to write notes on President Biden or his spokesperson or any major political person. And we've had some. We've agreed. There was one recently, particularly that was it was about inflation rates. Like, we realized that it wasn't misinformation that the White House was putting out, but it needed context. Now, I think it's okay. Twitter wouldn't mind me showing this note now, because even though it isn't visible now, it had been visible in response to the White House spokesperson stating, "We just received news that our economy had 0% inflation in July. While the price of things, some things went up, the price of others like gas, clothing, and more dropped." And this note had been written in response. And we realized that we thought that this needed context because it could be. This is a problem with this note. What the spokesperson said could be misunderstood, and the note we ended up writing was, "This is misleading." It wasn't misleading what she said. And month over month, it's fine that it was 0% inflation, but that 0% inflation in the month we're within does not negate the fact that we're still at high inflation year over year. So someone just saying it's at 0% doesn't make the stuff cost any less. Everything is still at inflated prices. So, and this, this note actually got some blowback. So if there is what I would call a problem with Birdwatch as it stands now, it's that a lot of people just are becoming disaffected because there is no note that they will ever write about the lies about critical race theory or racism, the freaking groomer thing, the satanic stuff, just all the just bizarre, total, conspiracy theories. None of those notes will ever become public as it stands because they're all true as far as everybody on the right's concerned. It doesn't matter how many facts, the election being stolen lie, like the big lie, no note on that will ever be public because they're all true. Any of the bizarre theories, those just are true. That's the way it is. The positive side is that, from my understanding, is Twitter's tech nerds, they have been working for some time just sorting through the algorithms to make sure that false positives can't happen, and they're really working hard on that. And then next will be the false negatives. So the belief is that all these things will be straightened out. Birdwatch hopefully will become effective. Just right now it's a chore, for the hardcore fact-checking people that we have. This is becoming just a real pain because you can do all kinds of work and support yourself with all the facts in the world, and it just doesn't matter because people on the right are not going to agree to facts. But that will change, and it looks like there are more people coming in, and that's what we need. We desperately need people on the right that can still deal with facts. I know there's people like this out there. We have a couple that I know, and they're great. We disagree politically on everything, but we don't disagree on facts, and we have completely reasonable conversations about reality. There are people on the right that are still dealing in reality. We need more of those. So, in some nation, I'd say Birdwatch is a great thing, and it's going to be a good thing. It's going to take some time yet.